Good afternoon, everyone. I hope everyone is having a wonderful Worship Wednesday. This is Worship Wednesday, and I come to you today on this April the 3rd of 2024. I know I wasn't going to want to have any more discussions on my channel about Mr. Robert Sylvester Kelly due to the fact that he is right now dealing with his legal issues with the courts and I just don't want a lot of drama on my channel surrounding him right now, bringing that kind of stuff around his name as far as anything that is negative. And I don't think what I have to share today, this afternoon with you, is anything negative. This is something that needs to be talked about. Um, this is something that needs to be talked about. I mean, it's not something to hurt anything about him, it's something to help people to get a better understanding about certain things that has happened over the years. People have been talking. People have been trying to do more solutions to what has occurred in Mr. Robert Sylvester Kelly before it got to that point, And now that we living in a world now, everything is done on the internet. The internet is influences people a lot. A lot of people listen to the internet more than they listen to going to a book and reading or going to do research about something. Everybody just jumps right on the bandwagon whenever something happens, something exposed about a person's life or whatever, and people are so quick to rush to judgment now than to really sit back and try to weigh things out before they make any judgment. Do they research their own personal research on certain topics before they jump into the conversations? So I did some looking back over the years stuff through everything that took place to Robert Sylvester Kelly and throughout his years of his career in the 90s. And probably back then they just wasn't ready to give this to artists like Robert Sylvester Kelly and those who even came way before he came. These things been going on in the music industry and in entertainment and in Hollywood or whatever. Well, more in the entertainment industry more than in Hollywood, where people, are dealing with, I will call, adverse childhood experiences. And it is so, like they never got the help for it when it happened. And later on in life, these things develop more. It's someplace on the brain. I'm going to show some videos on that. I'm going to introduce some videos here about if you want to learn more about ACE, adverse childhood experiences, also, toxic stress and trauma, learning about trauma and what causes trauma to people. Now, people want to sit around and they want to, rush to judgment. They want to call out and call, men like Mr. Robert Sylvester Kelly. And right now, the stuff that um, Sean P. Diddy is dealing with, even though they successful in their endeavors and they both were successful men. Like P. Diddy was a businessman. He was a businessman in entertainment. And Robert Sylvester Kelly was an artist. And he was a great producer, writer, songwriter, and everything, even though they told their stories as they went along. And people just was more listening to the beat than listening to the words that they were sharing. Some of their own, you know, adversities, some of the things that they had endured throughout their childhood, things they have experienced throughout their childhood, pain, and other things that might have happened in their life during their journey. So I listen to Robert. I'm a diehard. I still listen to his music every now and then. I have to go back and listen to some songs that he had, you know, produced, the songs he had made. And all his songs wasn't always about sex. A lot of his songs was about healing, uplifting the community, especially the soldier story, the soldier heart. I love that song. I played it when I did a celebration on my channel for him for his birthday. I wanted to bring out some of his great, you know, music besides I Believe I Can Fly. There's so many categories of his music is out there. If you listen, he tells a story of a lot of things he experienced through his journey, and he loves. He go through his good days. He go through his bad days. He's a human being. He's a man. He's born just like anybody else, like all of us. We all born with sinful, nature, just put it that way. We all born with sinful nature. And sometimes some things, if it's not treated at the most earliest stages of its development, it can become, you know, it can really spiral out of control. And I think that when Robert dealt with the trauma in his life as a child, the sexual abuse, and God knows what other stories. I didn't read his book, Roller Soul Coaster, anything about his life. I didn't get a chance to really read those stories, but I know he talked about the things the relationship he had with his mother, and they would go out and eat, and his mother would take that time to spend time with him, to sit down and talk with him, while his other brothers and them would be away with their dad, and his dad was always absent. He didn't have a relationship with his father, but other children in the family. So he felt like he didn't have a dad. So his mother um, put herself in a position to nurture that part of his life that he was missing. To play that role in his life, to give him a little extra time of herself because of the absent his father being absent in his life. So moving on, a lot of things came out too in his story when he went to court and everything. And Jennifer Bonjean defended him in his last Chicago case, and she was like sharing some things with the judge about his adverse childhood experience. And these people became very harsh about it. People shut down because people don't want to see, people don't want to see other people as themselves. They just want to just rush to judgment or just stone him to death or condemn him to hell, when they feel like, oh, he deserved to be harmed or whatever like that. And I don't think none of these women that he was involved with, of course, when everybody get in a relationship and you're having a disagreement and you're not getting along very well, you separate. You separate. And some people just can't handle it when one is willing to move on and the other one's willing, still want to force themselves to stay. And it happens a lot in a lot of relationships. And sometimes it gets so bad that it can lead to, I would call, um, it can become tragedy. It can lead to fatal deaths and everything. We see this all day long when you watch certain channels on certain things on the internet. A lot of women are dying by the hands of their lovers. There's some jealous boyfriend, or there's some things about this person's life that has not been dealt with at the time that it happened, and then it just gets to the point where they just become unhinged. Right, but we're not going to talk about that right now. But I just wanted to just share this video with you. I got a little time here with you, and we just going to share just bits of it. I might have to rush through it because of the time I have right now. I'm going to have to rush through it and probably come back with you in a part 2 on this. Um, a lot of times, because the internet is wicked. The internet is really wicked. So many people are dealing with, I could say, ACE. And I believe that the music industry, Hollywood and everything should have some type of action plan, and they should have some kind of, instead of just band-aid these artists and these actors and actresses or whatever people's um, you know, health right now, what they going through. I think that it comes a time when they just need to just sit down with them and let them know, look, I'm going to give you some time away from the public. We need to get you some help. You need to get some mental health treatment. You spiral, things is not looking good with you right now and not normal with you. We need to get you some spiritual help, and we also need to get you some professional help. Okay? And I think every, artist at some point of their life needs that time away to, know how to regulate some problems they're having, and get the help they need at the most you know beginning of, I'm trying to choose words to say, but it's urgent that they do get the help they need before they could go on tours or whatever. There was times that Robert tours were canceled and certain shows were canceled because there was some health issues he was having. And sometimes when things are stressing you, traumatic, and you're going through a lot of pressure and stress, it also can affect your physical health. It starts attacking your physical health because everything deals with the brain. All right. Instead of paying off these women that come against you with allegations of sexual harassment, sexual abuse, or whatever, it should be some kind of other way to deal with it other than always just giving away money. I think that what they need to do is they need to have these things handled in the court, where they can fight it in court and you can hear both sides of the story before just handling settlements. And I think that is the worst thing. That's the worst attorney to have, is when an attorney convince or advise their client to settle. That's the worst thing, listen to me closely, an attorney can do. Even if the client is guilty of doing these things, the worst thing an attorney should do is advise his or her client to settle. I think they need to face the music, face whatever the argument should be, face whatever crime they committed or whatever wrongdoings they have done should be um, argued in the court before any settlement or any punitive damages or any kind of monetary, gifts should be given. I mean, not wouldn't say gift, or any kind of monetary settlement should come. It should be that the argument should go before the courts, so both sides can be heard. Okay, before you make those arrangements or settlements. And that's the thing what happened with Cassie right now and Diddy. I don't think Diddy should have settled with her. If there was a closed settlement and it was done quietly or whatever, I think it should have been, his civil case should have moved forward. Even if he would have been found guilty, it should have still moved forward, because the longer you allow something to go on, the worse it's going to get. And I think that both sides should have been heard in the court of law and not the court of opinion in the public. Okay, so let's move on. I only got a few more minutes. I have to get back to work. And this is something I wanted to talk about. Let's get back to Iyana Vanzant in this video.
Rest this properly.
Well, I hadn't watched the news probably in about 25 years. I didn't know I didn't know nothing.
Okay, good for you.
Who told you who our president was?
People, it came up on my AOL feed. I watched when the night that Barack Hussein Obama became the president. I watched that. But it was just too much stress. But now I watch the news. I only watch certain people, so I know what to pray for. I got to know what's going on, so I know what to ask for. So I'm
going to stop right here, y'all, because I have to move forward. I have to move on. I can't listen to all of that other stuff.
Is remove the barriers and the obstacles between you and it. That's what I do.
Okay.
And then it's up to you to take the next steps. So if a guest doesn't have the willingness, the readiness, or the capacity to take the steps, putting them in front of a camera is not going to serve anybody.
Iyana Vanzant, ladies and gentlemen.
So you're not saying that they're unable to be unhealed. It's just that it has to be done in another
way. Right.
Okay.
Right.
Okay.
I don't want to prostitute people's pain.
Yeah.
And I know a lot of people write me and they want to come on and stuff, but they can't articulate a clear vision. He couldn't articulate a clear vision. He said, I want to know how to, well, I can't tell you what he said because that's a violation of confidence. But anyway, what I want you to say. So all you people tweeting me and Facebooking me and emailing me, go help R. Kelly. He got to be available. He has to want it. He didn't ask me to help for help. He did, but he doesn't have the capacity to do it the way I do it.
Yeah.
Doesn't have,
got it.
because it also, every guest on Fix My Life, they have an issue, a challenge, they articulate a vision. But my criteria is, how is this going to help the people watching?
Right.
You're going to get the help, but how is it going to help the people watching? Because you don't just want to sit there and look at, this thing if you can't apply it to your life.
Man, I like this right here. Tracy, go.
Bigger picture, man.
Bigger picture.
I appreciate you so much, Iyana. So I'm wondering, obviously, you're the precursor before Fix My Life, but when you're in a cloudy state, when your mental forecast, spiritual forecast is just like rainy, who are the people that you reach out to? Who essentially fixes your life?
Okay, I didn't want to hear that part. I want to hear more what she had to say.
Sway, y'all are doing awesome. And Miss Iyana, it's an honor and a blessing to talk to you this morning. My question is, I know that you don't carry things with you once you talk to the individuals. What do you do for mental health and self-wellness?
I wish I would have had a way to edit this stuff before I got on here, but it was a certain part I wanted people to hear, and I'm trying to rush through it.
He did 7 years in prison. He did a program there before he got released to the streets, and then he did an aftercare program to help him, learn his coping skills, his learned behaviors, his everything that his core beliefs from everything that when he was brought up to believe, and that abuse is not an excuse. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Did it help him?
Yeah. In fact, I think from what he was saying, that as far as offenders being drug-related murderers, rapists, sex offenders, whatnot, sex offenders are actually the least likely to reoffend or relapse and go back to prison because of the treatment, I believe.
Okay.
I think anybody, not just R. Kelly, anybody has to want to be helped. But before they can want the help, they have to acknowledge and recognize that their behavior is out of order. I won't say bad or wrong. I'm saying out of order, inappropriate. They have to know that, and I don't think he knows that yet because he's still denying it.
Yeah.
He's still denying it. So that is a clear indication that he's either unwilling, not ready, or doesn't have the capacity.
What do you make of, I've been reading these things, he had a concert and there were women outside of the concert saying, hey, take me hostage.
Right. I know.
What is that?
It's the collective sickness that we have because we've forgotten who we are and we haven't assimilated fully into a society and a culture that diminishes, demeans, and dismisses us. So one of the easiest ways to assert your power, to feel your power, is sex. Sex is a power source. So when you feel powerless...
I haven't made a shout out to this video that I'm using here that Alana did this 6 years ago, and you can see it. I'm sure you can see it on my screen and everything. But Sway's Universal, shout out to you. I'm just using this for content as far as for, I don't know if my disclaimer's out there as a disclaimer and everything. This doesn't belong to me. I'm just using this as content to educate the public and to bring some things to help, in this discussion I'm having, in some of the research of the discussion I'm having. Okay, so I don't have my mod here my mod isn't here right at this moment. I don't see my mod here at this moment, but it's just some things I just wanted to just point out here. Okay, so I'm gonna go rush through all of this. Okay.
number of people who live in poverty, unemployed, haven't reached their vision or their quest in life, but they got 8 kids.
Right.
Why? Because their sex is powerful. So they're looking for a way to be powerful, feel power, exchange power, and sex is the way to do it. Simply because we haven't been taught who we are.
Iyana Vanzant is here. Iyana Fix My Life season 6 premieres this Saturday.
Tomorrow.
9 p.m. on OWN. We got Golden Kansas City. Bree, good morning. How you doing, Bree?
Hey, Bree.
Hey.
I'm good. How are y'all?
Doing well.
Okay, I'm gonna skip through that one, y'all.
So I have a question. Iyana, I love you, and I would have rather stayed anonymous, but whatever. I'll just put it all out there on the table. So
take a breath. Take a breath.
Okay.
Take a breath.
All
Take a breath. Just
right.
breathe.
I'm not gonna break down.
And what is your intention in sharing? You don't have to tell me, but be clear about why you're sharing, what you're getting ready to share, and let the power of that intention choose the words for you.
Words.
I'm not gonna break down.
And what is your intention in sharing? You don't have to tell me, but be clear about why
I'm
you're
sorry, y'all.
sharing.
I'm trying to get through this.
We clean up the feelings, but we don't release the energy of it. You got to clean that energy off your body. That's a salt bath. That's a apple cider vinegar bath. That's go to my website and buy you some Masterpiece Clearing and Releasing. I make a bath product, an African black soap with herbs and oils designed to clean your body and clear your energy, because that's what Grandma did.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what? Grandma would be cooking up something or whatever. So keep your energy clean, okay?
Okay, Bree.
Okay.
And Bree,
right.
we're here too. Give us a call. You got a support base in us, okay?
Oh, that's love.
That's love. You're a citizen,
It's
okay?
way in the morning, Bree. You and your daughter.
Iyana, I know you gotta go. I think Acts of Faith is a book that Kelly Kincaid was a big fan of yours, was telling me about celebrating this 20th anniversary.
25th
anniversary.
She is 25 years old.
That's crazy.
And I'm taking her on tour next year.
Yeah.
I used to do a lecture here in New York every month around the principles of Acts of Faith. And I haven't done that since 2000. And now she's 25. So next spring, I'm taking her across the country, 33 cities, to share the wisdom of that book. Can you imagine? 25 years old. There's some
God
people
bless.
who've never seen a copy of Acts of Faith. I bet R. Kelly don't have a copy of Acts of Faith.
Well, shoot him one. Send one. Get
Yeah,
one.
send him one.
Yeah, send him one. We'll send everybody one.
Yes, I want to see everybody when I come out on tour.
Okay.
And
Okay.
we're gonna take those words and break them down, because it's all about just teaching and learning.
Thank you.
Thank you.
That's what I want
And
to
that
say to you.
invitation to you and your sister's open.
Don't play. Might turn into a session.
Come on. Right at the kitchen
Right at the
table.
kitchen
That's
table.
how we
Don't
used to
do
do
that.
it, right? That's
A
how
lot
we
of
used to
power.
have
That kitchen.
We might have to do that, okay?
Okay.
Iyana Vanzant, give a round of applause. Fix My Life season 6 premieres tomorrow. At 9.
Okay, everybody. The part I wanted to get to about this whole thing, that the reason that Robert Sylvester Kelly, about his challenging life, the things he had to, his demons, the things he had to fight with, through some things he's been through. Ilana Von, she did share it in this video, so if you get a chance, you could go and check it out. It's here on YouTube, Sway's Universal. Look for Iyana Vanzant calls out R. Kelly's circle and spotlight this. And she spoke on a lot of things that with Robert, right at that time, because you got to remember, this was the time when he was being attacked in the media, and she said she did not want to prostitute anyone's pain, so that's why she didn't want to do it. And he wasn't willing. He never came to her and asked her for any help. But when she did interview him and everything to see if she can reach out to get him the help, he wasn't willing to do it. The way he was still, like, in a way where he was still sort of like in denial about what was going on. And of course, things was clouding him at the time. But I don't know how he would feel about it after looking back at time, like after he don't spend time away from the public and away from things or whatever, is now he's willing to open up and share and get the help that can help him, to overcome a lot of the things that were holding him in a place of his life that wasn't doing him any good, where his growth was hurting his growth. Put it that way, just saying hurting his growth. So I just wanted to just share this video. You can go and watch it yourself. Iyana Vanzant calls out the R. Kelly circle and spotlight. And I think I did share that R. Kelly didn't have good people around him. He had a lot of evil, demonic spirits around him. People weren't there. They didn't care about him as a person. They cared about just making sure they kept him, making the money he was making so that they can, get their money grabbed. So or having access to him and everything of that nature, but it wasn't truly like they were trying to keep him safe. And that's where they need to create space at for people that work in the industry. Yeah, you give them bodyguards, you give them this, you give them that, you give them money, 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 but you got to be careful on, you know those things, giving it to a child, when especially when they're doing some wrong things. You gotta, like, give them a certain small portion of it until they can get a larger amount once things are getting better for them. You don't just keep throwing a whole bunch of things to them and knowing that these can eventually one day come back and destroy them, or you putting them in harm's way. Put it that way. So anyway, y'all, I'm gonna get out of here. I'll hopefully be back with you this evening. I do have to charge this phone up. I do have to get back and get some work done before the day ends. So with that being said, love you guys. You all have a wonderful worship Wednesday, and hopefully see you soon. Peace. And thank you everyone who came into the chat. I can't really see it with all the writings here, but please leave your comments in the comments section so I know you've been here. And also please hit the like button on your way leaving the chat. I appreciate it. Thank you.